Learn, Lead, Lift, how to think, act, and inspire your way to greatness. Today we're talking about what inclusive culture looks like inside the organization. Leaders are not solo actors, although in American culture, we tend to reinforce this view, and we definitely portray them this way in our media. For example, the Lone Ranger. The higher you go up in an organization chart, the larger the number of people who have and are actively contributing to your continued success every single day. That's why great leaders talk in terms of we, not I, when they're describing their past accomplishments and planning for their next. I is a really self-limiting paradigm. Leadership that does not inspire us collectively to achieve things beyond what we thought was possible is limiting, and leadership that doesn't cast a wide net of potential beneficiaries rings hollow at its core. Is your organization's culture inclusive? The answer is yes, if people feel authentically seen, their voices heard, and psychologically safe. Not just some people or most people, but all of your people. A significant blind spot for many leaders is how they personally contribute to people feeling not seen, not heard, and not safe. Most leaders I've worked with are completely unaware that they are part of this problem. Leaders cannot afford to be naive about this anymore, literally. For a whole host of reasons, the next generation of leadership won't be able to access the talent they need unless they can take their blinders off and take action on this now. This isn't easy. Taking your blinders off means you have to be willing to confront and wrestle with your own personal discomfort, frustration, anger, shame, guilt, and other negative emotions around these issues on an ongoing basis. If you're a fan of the first Matrix movie, you might recognize this is exactly what happened to Neo when he chose to accept the blue pill from Morpheus instead of the red one. Is creating more conscious leaders enough to build inclusive culture in an organization? Sadly, no. If leaders are highly inclusive in their mindsets and behaviors, it still doesn't guarantee that the organization's structure, processes, and policies will be. Leaders are only one part of the system. You have to work on multiple components at the same time for inclusion and diversity to really thrive. When organizations succeed at this, the good news is they tend to consistently outperform their peers. The business case for bias mitigation, diversity, and inclusion as table stakes for the future is very compelling. Let me repeat that. The business case for bias mitigation, diversity, and inclusion as table stakes for the future is very compelling. In the COVID-19 era, organizations are learning big lessons right now about how collective leadership translates to greater speed, creativity, agility, and resilience. Casting hierarchy aside, they are often for the first time putting people with the most relevant knowledge and skills together to solve problems in real time. Worrying about what school someone went to, whether English is their first language, whether they're male, non-binary, gay, straight, Muslim, Jewish, etc. All of that suddenly seems a lot less important, as it should be. Smart organizations will pay attention to who, given the opportunity now, steps up during this time. And they'll figure out how to support those individuals in going further, faster in their career development. Smart organizations will leverage the opportunity to smooth their path with policies, practices, and decision-making that's designed from the ground up to make inclusion part of the organization's DNA.